So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the monastic gathering, because one thing that I think is very wonderful about it is that people come from different traditions and talk to each other, because until this century, really, it was very difficult for people from different Buddhist traditions to meet each other because they lived far away, they spoke different languages, they didn't have good, there wasn't the transportation and so on. And even now, in many of the monasteries, the monastics don't speak multiple languages. They're involved in doing their studies or whatever, and so, traveling somewhere else and speaking in a different language aren't things that all of them are familiar with. So us having the opportunity to do this in the States and really learn about each other's traditions and support each other is something I think the Buddha would be very, very happy about. Yeah, because the Buddha just taught the Dharma. He didn't teach this tradition and that tradition and my tradition and your tradition. He just taught the Dharma. And so I think when we come together like this in the spirit of the Dharma, it just brings harmony, and that's what is so important in keeping the Dharma alive. Because if there's disharmony amongst Buddhists, then everybody turns around and says, well, what's the use? Yeah? So this is doing the exact opposite, and it's really quite wonderful. Another thing that we did during the conference was a walk to feed the hungry. And this is an idea from the Buddhist Global Relief. It's a charity founded by Bhikkhu Bodhi and many others. And they do really wonderful work, primarily in liaising with charitable organizations in countries where there's a lot of poverty and hunger. And so they work to alleviate hunger principally, but they'll also get involved in projects for education, which I think are also really important, because if people are educated, then that can help them solve their hunger problem on their own. So there's one Theravada nun who organized the conference this year, and I think she was the one who did it at the gathering last year as well. And you can tell it's her thing, and I went up to her afterwards and I said, it's really clear that you found your thing. And she was very happy to hear that, because she's just so impassioned about this and really thinking about the people who don't have enough food, and wanting to do these walks to bring awareness to that and to, gain donations for Buddhist Global Relief. So, so she just takes delight in organizing all of this. And it's a lot of organization to do this. From the people who participate, you just stand up and walk, and then you sit down and listen. But from the people who organize it, you have to get permits, you have to draw out a route, you have to think about the weather and, make signs. We were carrying signs during it. And so they really did an excellent job doing this. And for those of us who participated, it was also very nice. Personally speaking, I didn't feel like I was doing much to help the hungry, because I was walking and having conversations with the other people there, which was very nice. But, I thought if it does have the effect of bringing more attention to this, and then more people do give donations, then that's something very good. Because the Abbey, gives Buddhist Global Relief a donation every year. And then we also, share our extras with our Catholic sisters and with the food bank. So, I think it's just growing the awareness of the plenty that we have, and to share it instead of live in fear of losing it, So it's very fulfilling to do that kind of thing. When we came back from the talk, some of us walked from the walk. Some of us walked back from the walk as well. And yeah, that afternoon in the session, a few of us were having a hard time staying awake. But I think everybody was quite happy with it. Yeah. So we'll continue these monastic meetings, and some of you have been before, and I think you'll be able to go again, and the new ones will be able to go again too.